Hey there YouTube, Logan with Hideaway Homestead coming to you today with a video on free feed or free fodder. And I've got some kudzu here that I'm throwing into the rabbits. As you can see, she likes them pretty good. And I've noticed that I can feed kudzu to my rabbits probably about 3 days in a row, and then they kind of start to get tired of it and want something different. But it is an excellent fodder. Rabbits love it. I reckon just about everything loves it. They brought it over here for cattle, so it was originally a cattle feed. I was talking to the guy that I get the pigs from, him and his wife, and he was talking about if you really know what you're doing and you cut it high enough that people could bale it, and it makes, good hay. So that was pretty interesting to learn about. And I wanted to talk about the kudzu and also the mimosa that I cut here that I'm gonna give to some of the other rabbits. I'm gonna give some to the goats as well, or excuse me, not the goats, but the sheep. And I'm gonna see how they do with it, as far as, if they like it and everything. I think they'll like the kudzu. I know they'll like the mimosa. There doesn't seem to be anything that doesn't like the mimosa. But I wanted to make this video because there is a ton of invasive species, is what they're called. They're just brought here from somewhere else, that are just all over the roadsides, You can, I've made a video about this before, but it's been a while. You can go check it out. I can't even remember what I called it, but it was a long time ago. And I just went alongside the road and just picked stuff. That's what I did right now. I just went for a little walk and got all this stuff. Got some mimosa leaves here and some kudzu. And people will actually thank you for cleaning it up. So great way to feed your animals basically for free. I mean, just for what you do getting it. I mean, I'm sure that if you live in the southeast, there's got to be some mimosa, or there's got to be some kudzu or something, or whatever it is in your area that is invasive and is growing all over the place, and just growing right on the side of the road. So if you work the 9 to 5 and go to one place specifically every day, pickup truck, or even in the back of a car and in the trunk, throw your tarp down, and you could go through and just pick this stuff, no problem whatsoever. Now I've got the lambs here. I'm gonna give them some mimosa, see how they like it, see if they like it as much as the poplar. And they're having a real good time grazing right now. I just put them on some fresh grass, so we'll see if they take it or not. But yeah, you could very easily, just on your commute home from work, go through and chop some of this stuff down. I'm sure that you've got some close somewhere, and you find something that animals eat just about anywhere that's a good fodder for them. So since they're a little skittish, I'm gonna put it right there, and I'll take the rest of this to the rabbits. I want to just give them a little bit here to try. I'm gonna see if I step back and turn the camera around here. Maybe they'll come up and have a, here they come. They're still a little skittish around me. Oh yeah, they like it. That's pretty good, isn't it? Get some more work done on the sheep tractor and get the wheels a little bit more like I like them, and we will keep giving updates on this. But today I really wanted to talk about the fodder. So I mean, just think about it. It took me to gather all of this for the animals that I've got to feed. The sheep, I didn't have to give them any. This is mainly for the rabbits. What I had to get for them to eat today is all except for the mama and her babies. I've got probably just like a sprig or so that I'm gonna give of this to them. They're on some pellets right now, just because it's been easier to keep that full since I'm not always around to give the plants. But I mean, it's 5 minutes to, you know, do this, if that. And you think about just all the health benefits from having, you know, a more natural diet and stuff. It's totally worth it. And you can take these types of invasive plants. I've transplanted these mimosas before. They transplant pretty well, even though they have a taproot, and you normally have to break that taproot to move them. They still do all right. So I think that they're an excellent plant. They're one of my favorites. I really like the mulberry, and I really like the willow, and I really like the hybrid poplar. But this here has proven to be one that is just extremely prolific, takes well to coppicing and pollarding, and the kudzu as well. Now, I wouldn't recommend planting the kudzu just because of how much it takes over. But there are plenty of places where you can find it, and you can just cut and cut and cut and come again. They have really big tubers, so they'll continuously grow from that tuber and put on new growth. So great way to feed your animals for quote unquote free. But the thing you got to think about is people will say, well, you know, my time's worth more than that, than going and picking, you know, this stuff. Well, for one, if you plant stuff close to where your rabbit hutches are, or where your sheep pens are, or whatever it may be, then there's not a whole lot of work involved. It's cutting some little branches. But not only that, but let's say you are putting 5 minutes into it. And let's say that you make $60 an hour. Let's just go ahead and give everybody a huge salary for what your average American makes. Let's just say you're making $60 an hour tax-free. You would need to have the work to do that. So just like if you you know, produce something and you sell it, there's only so much demand for that. So unless you can actually use the time to make that money, then the time's you know, quote unquote worthless. I don't think any time's worthless, but you know, I mean, it's like, had you rather watch 5 minutes of Netflix or YouTube or whatever it may be, or had you rather do something that's gonna be productive and move you towards more independence from the feed store? So I think it's totally worthwhile to do this, and the fact that it's free, there's so much of it. So if you're building up your fodder systems right now, you're, you know, planting trees, getting stuff ready to go, and you want a quick way to have a lot of access to fodder to feed your animals, go alongside the road. This is something that I got to start doing more often. I have plenty of opportunities, just I'm not taking advantage of them like I should. So gonna be planning out a lot more trips where I have the ability to just stop and have some kind of container in the back of the truck or something to fill up and bring back and feed to the animals. So if this was helpful, go ahead and leave a like. If you've got any questions or comments, drop those down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and do so. Check out a lot of my old videos. I've got a lot of stuff about this on there. I appreciate all y'all watching, and we'll see you in the next one.